We are. Hold on. It says we're live on my end.
Awesome. Welcome into the Scaling Lean Weekly Live, where I, Jonathan Plaransky, and Nina Brennan host a live every single week in the Scaling Lean community. Today, we're going to be speaking directly about our AI sales director that Nina has been developing and really been leading the forefront of. And we've got a lot of traction in the group. A lot of people are wanting more information on that. Nina dropped some KPIs in yesterday, so we figured we go a little deeper on the system today. So let us know if you have any questions, comments, concerns during this. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to have live interactive. I did put out a couple messages this morning inviting everyone into this. So yeah, super exciting, awesome day out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Nina, I know you had some pretty cool things going on this week in Colorado. So yeah, let's hop in. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that we're going to be talking about today is very similar to what we talked about last week of the AI sales director and the feedback loop that we've created here at Scaling Lean. We've really tapped into the idea of AI as just using sales as the forefront, of marketing, of sales messaging, of how to develop sales calls, to how to talk to your customers, to even bringing it into your onboarding process and developing your offer. So Jonathan created this really awesome feedback processor that we did a live event on, I think 2 weeks ago, right, JP?
Oh, it's last week.
No, it was last year. These weeks ago in Slow But Fast. And we were talking about a little bit of taking the sales calls and using it as feedback to create your unique value proposition, to help you create your offer, to help you create your emails, to help you create your SMSs. So it takes all of the thought process because it pulls out the seven core fundamental beliefs. So like pain and fear and doubt, etc., all of those, and it helps formulate a message that's very crystal clear to your audience. So what we're going to be talking about today is a very similar play. We're going to be leveraging sales calls once again, but we're going to be using it as a feedback processor to help us get better at sales for the individual task of just like closing the deal, right? So what we developed was a prompt that goes inside of I use Claude and a project inside of Claude where we put a prompt inside that basically breaks down the scoring card. So we have the five fundamental pieces of the sales call, which is like the framing, the discovery, the dig phase, the press, the pitch, and the close. And it scores you based on that. It pulls out the proper questions that you should be asking. And it also pulls in like the psychological things that you might have missed as a human having the conversation and tells you like what the other person was feeling. So I had a sales call yesterday and I did this processor. So I just thought it would be really cool to do it live of like, okay, how are we actually using this scoring card and how is it actually helping humans get better at sales? So that's really the idea today. Do you have anything to add before we dive in, JP?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the innovation that we're bringing here with Scaling Lean. This has really started to really snowball in the past like 3 to 4 months. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are really hesitant with AI, but we're using it more as a feedback loop system. And now that we've developed a foundation, we're now bringing it into the forefront of our business, right? And huge news this week. We actually joined on with the board of directors for the AI Surfer Syndicate here in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a global expansion for everything AI. So we're talking about bringing AI into law, uh, doctors, like literally everything AI. That's what the syndicate's bringing, and Scaling Lean is now on the forefront of that. We're hosting live events throughout the year at the headquarters, and man, it's super exciting to bring this information. Reason I even bring that up, Nina, though, is we were talking to Matt Proud, and he was just informing us on how this evolution is going to go down because he's working at more of like a huge macro level with these big Fortune 500 companies and also VC firms to really help them launch and grow, right? And the way this process is going to roll out, and it's still at the development, Matt was on with Google and stuff, but you're ultimately going to have a voice agent at the top of the pyramid, I guess you'd say, and they're actually speaking to other agents within the business, right? So you have a voice agent, just like a human, speaking to other AIs that's training them and delegating them and to do the things they're doing, right? So it's very still being in development, but this is all moving very quickly. And we're really excited to bring this forward to you because it is like we're at the forefront of it, and it's super awesome that to be part of this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that we keep talking about statistics, and I'm a firm believer, like World Economic Forum is a very good predictor of where we're going. We say it every single week, and I've been bringing the stats up. 60% of businesses are looking to implement AI, and about 40% of people are looking to downgrade their team because of the agentic style AI that's being developed. That's what you're talking about there, JP. It's like, why would we have humans do it that only work 9 to 5? And like, we're not here to take away from human interactions. Humans are super crucial in terms of building community and everything like that, even just like having that real connection. But businesses are looking to take tasks that are very manual, that you don't really need a human for, that it's kind of just like, you're hiring somebody 9 to 5, they're in the office, they're taking sick days. It's not as efficient as what these agentic agents can do inside of a business. And it's really what we're pushing here at Scaling Lean, because we see a very lean team, we see high profit margins, we see lean systems, excuse me, and very high efficiency to get business owners in the service space, whether you're coaching or consulting or have a service business, or even just someone who's like an accountant. We work with a lot of people in the finance space and real estate space. It just makes the business better. You're able to scale with less overhead, able to scale with less complexity, excuse me, and it just makes it easier overall to have a system running. So when you as a human step out, you're able to run the system. So there's a great quote by the E-Myth author, I think his name is Michael Gerber. It's let the people run the system, let the system run the business.
Mhm.
And it's like now we're pushing into a space of let the system run the system. And it's really just even more efficient because it's just going to be a big feedback processor inside of the business of going from like you have an agent speaking to an agent and it's giving it information and then it's feeding back into just more efficient. So,
Absolutely. So let's hop in a little bit here into more of the sales director side, Nina, because I know you've made some really amazing assets, and we don't have like hours here to go over everything that you've developed. But let's give like a 30,000-foot view of like the scoring system that you've developed, and maybe just show if we can. I don't want to like reveal anyone's privacy or anything, but maybe we have a little peek inside of what that looks like, right? Just to give someone an idea and how we're able to like not only improve what we're doing inside of scaling, but also some of the clients that we're working with, helping them ramp salespeople up more efficiently and give them the feedback they need to empower them to become better salespeople.
100%. So with an overarching view, and then we'll hop into the actual, I'll pull the transcript and I'll go through the entire process, is record your sales calls. We use Fathom.ai. There's definitely there's Otter AI, there are Fireflies. There's so many ways that you can grab this like technology, this AI, and put it into a Zoom call or a Google Meet, or even just inside of Go High Level and download the transcript when done. So the cool thing about these tools, like we use Fathom, we use it for every single call, whether it's coaching call and or sales call and or just connection over coffee call, just to record like what we're talking about and kind of summarize it. But the cool thing, not only does it do summaries and not only does it take notes that could actually zap into Go High Level, what we do is we take the full transcript of the call and we put it into the prompt. So we have this project. I have like the paid version of Claude and I created a project and I set the prompt for it. So if you guys do want the prompt, we're going to be selling it for $49. Just let us know. We can send it over to you. But we put the prompt inside of Claude. And then every single sales call, what I do is I take the transcript and I input it into this project, and then it spits out the scoring card. And let's go over what that looks like right here. I have it saved. Let's go to projects and then I'll share my screen. I feel
Yeah,
like
while you're
I was just saying, I feel like letting somebody into Claude is like seeing the inside of your mind, right? Go ahead.
yeah, it's like the deep darkness of you sometimes, right? Yeah, so I just wanted to, while you're pulling that up, I was just gonna say we've got a lot of these prompts inside of the Scaling Lean community, right? We've built an entire feedback processor 4-step method in order to lay out your 7 core beliefs so you have a deep understanding of your people that you're selling to, right? Then we've developed what we call the character view, which is really getting a good understanding of like your micro stories of your belief systems, the things that you had to overcome to get to where you are. And then we have a 2-step system for your offer layout. So your marketing offer and your fulfillment offer are two different things, right? So in Scaling Lean, we're stacking all of these prompts to really enable our folks to get the feedback they need in order to develop faster. And this is just a piece of what we're doing. Just wanted to bring that in, Nina. We're like basically creating these clusters of prompts that build on each other that just create this endless feedback loop to give us the most accurate information.
Yeah, 100%. So let's go a little bit into the sales call analysis prompt. I'm not going to share my screen because this is something that we're selling, and I know we're usually abundant with this stuff, but we are keeping some of the prompts behind closed doors and keeping them for our clients. Sorry. So what we do here is we start with the analysis framework. So we have framing, discovery, dig, offer presentation, and closing, right? And what we do is we have 3 to 5 questions underneath each of these. So for example, framing, we want to score it 1 through 10 at the end of the call after the transcript has been analyzed. Did the salesperson establish credibility and authority early on? Was the call agenda set clearly and communicated clearly with the client or prospect on the other line? Did they set appropriate expectations, as in, this is a sales call. If it makes sense at the end of the call, we're going to make an offer. If not, we're going to send you to an asset or resource or whatever that can help you. And how effectively did they transition from small talk? So I know there's like that rapport building in the beginning of the call to making it about business and taking authority of the call. So that's just the example of the framing of the call of what it's scoring on. And I'll just say a little bit of the discovery. We're not going to go through every single one, but discovery is, were the pain points uncovered? How well did they understand the prospect's current situation? Did they identify the decision-making process and stakeholders, which should be inside of your application, but it's just a confirmation here. Were budget and timeline parameters established? Quality of business impact discovery, as in, are you going deep enough? Are you having those active listening skills? And the last question is, how actively is the salesperson listening? So at the bottom of the entire prompt, which is 5 pages long, we have an overall assessment, and it assesses from the score. And I'll share this little thing at the bottom. I'll take a screenshot and I'll send it to you guys. There's framing, which the score is 0 to 10 out of 10. And the weight of the framing of the call is 15% out of 100. And then the discovery is, you do this 0 to 10 out of 10, and the discovery is 25% out of the 100. And the dig is 20%, offer presentation is 25%, and the closing is a 15%. So those are all things that are going to be calculated into the first sales call assessment score. So you're going to be going through step by step, and then it rates communication skills. So there's listening skills, there's questioning techniques. So listening skills is going to be 25%. Questioning techniques is going to be 30%. Tone and enthusiasm, being able to match the person that's on the other line, is going to be 20%. And product knowledge is going to be 25%. I've seen this while training sales representatives. They're excellent salespeople, but then if they're a little bit shaky on the product or the product knowledge, especially when someone asks them a question, it loses trust right there. So it's definitely something that we put in there for a reason. And then it spits out your top 3 strengths, and it overall scores your strengths and your top 3 areas for improvement. And then specific coaching recommendations. So immediate focus, skill development, knowledge gaps, etc. And then deal strategy recommendations. So inside of this specific coaching recommendations, it'll go into the frame, into the dig, into the disco, into the press, into the pitch, and it'll actually tell you things that you could have said or done better. So say you asked a question, but you didn't dig deeper, it will actually tell you like, hey, like you asked this specific question here, and it'll quote you. And then it'll tell you how you could have dug a little bit deeper in order to get to the root cause of the problem that you haven't figured out on the phone. I don't know if that made sense, but it goes deeper than like what a lot of people do. And I know there's that, if you want to get to a root of a excuse, a problem, or a thought process, a limiting belief, etc., you have to ask the question why 7 times. And this really puts it into perspective of like how to get to the why without just keep pressing somebody with the answer why, or the question why, excuse me.
Yeah, that was really deep review. I didn't think you were going to go that deep, Nina. Wow, that was a lot of great information. So ultimately, what we're doing there is really understanding the words and phrases and really the structure of the call, right? And we're creating this grading system to really get a good handle on how the person's performing, right? And what's so great about this is it gives us a very objective feedback, right? Because oftentimes as humans, we might miss little things, right? But this system is going to hit you right in the jugular and tell you exactly what you did wrong and then how to correct that for the next time.
Yeah, 100%. So what I'm going to do now, JP, is I'll just do a live walkthrough of, I'll show my Fathom, I'll share my screen, I'll pull the transcript and I'll put it into the processor. And because it does have people's information, I'm not going to show the entire thing as it's processing and spitting out, but I'll show the final, like once the name is cut out, I'll just show it from there, okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So I'm actually not going to share Fathom because also it has information. But inside of Fathom, all you're going to do is get an account. We still have the free account. We don't need the paid until we start doing the next agent that we're going to be building. But on each of the calls, there's going to be a summary, transcript, and Ask Fathom.
Here,
Just hit transcript.
let me just pop open a call real quick while you're doing that, Nina, and I'll just show them what it would look like for like a coaching call. Just
Okay,
so,
cool. I just didn't want to share information of who we had a call with, so thank you.
yeah.
Perfect. So I'm just going to copy the transcript and then I'm going to go over to Claude.
Yeah.
Well, we're good now, JP, because I'm already in the call evaluator, so I'm going to share my screen and just,
All right. Sounds
yeah,
good.
so we're good. So as you guys can see, I'm inside of Claude. This is the project section over here. I created a project. Inside of the project, I have my project knowledge, which is the prompt that we've created over time and keep building onto in order to get this information. And then I go over here and I paste the entire transcript, excuse me. And then you just hit this and you're going to see it's going to spit out information based on this. And I'm just going to keep it rolling because it does have, it showed information, but it's okay. So as you could see, it's going through everything here of it's answering every single question that's inside of the prompt. And then at the bottom, it's going to be a scoring card.
Yeah, so that's basically just going through all the words based on the prompts that you gave it to rank you and see exactly what you're doing.
Mhm.
Uh, if you're not using an AI like generator for your sales calls, you should definitely get one. As Nina mentioned, we use Fathom right now and it is free. There's also like Otter, there's Reader.ai, there's Fireflies, there's loads of them, right? And some of them have different features that other ones don't. The reason we like Fathom is it does give you a transcript and um, it gives you a summary, and it just seems to us to have the best user interface. But we're not saying you have to use that by any means. So there it is. Yeah, the scorecards area.
Yeah. So what you can do after everything is done, you could just publish it and then you're able to share it with your team. You're able to put it inside of the notes inside of Go High Level. And it's just like a great tool to like open up. I put everything inside of a folder and then once a week after all the sales calls, I'll just review it. Just so it's kind of like instead of having to watch sales calls like we used to, it's just nice little feedback and you can highlight and take notes of like what you could do better. Um, it's really good because as someone who has taken at this point, what, thousands of sales calls, JP, for both of us, there's still room for improvement always, especially if it's like a cold lead, if it's a warm lead that's been following you, if it's a follow-up call of how to approach it. And maybe it's like if you have a follow-up call and you didn't get all of the information from the first call that you were on, this is great for giving you the information to like how to approach it from a psychological standpoint as well. What kind of pain, doubt, fear, etc. are people facing that maybe you haven't dug into? And like we work with a client in real estate, right, who has a real estate mentorship program. And as we were training the sales rep, we realized that a lot of times people don't take the step forward, not because they don't want the mentorship or they don't believe in the mentorship. They're actually facing fear of investing in their first or next rental property because of money. So it's like they don't know what they don't know. And getting to that root cause of fear and that root cause of pain of maybe not being able to like give the money up for that first investment, it actually was a game changer for Karen because she was able to see the kind of fear and the doubt that they had. And it had nothing to do with the program, but everything to do with internal. So that's the cool feedback that you can get from this processor as a sales representative.
Absolutely love that you brought that up, Nina, because I feel early on in my development, in particular, I was selling a lot of the features of what I was doing, and I thought that was what the people were buying into. And our offers evolve, right, into higher price points, you can't get away with that stuff as easy as you can when you're, let's just say you're launching like a $500 product or like a $97 masterclass, right? A lot of those folks will just buy in for the dopamine because a lot of those folks like no, like nothing against them, but they're mostly just chasing shiny objects, right? But as we get into a higher ticket offer, like above 2K, 5K, 15, $20,000, those folks are really looking for a transformation to overcome, right? So they want to understand not only the features of it, but like how are you and your business going to get them over that big hurdle, right? And we dive deep into all of this and really help you develop that instead of really focusing so much on like the mechanisms and offer of what you're doing. It's more of like, how are you going to help someone overcome a major obstacle?
Yeah. And the really cool thing about all of these prompts too, like sales is great for sales feedback, but it's also great for content feedback. I know a lot of people are looking to step up their content game. I'm a firm believer in we went through the statistics a couple of weeks ago, JP, 300 million posts on Instagram a day. And there are just like in total, like 1 billion or something like that posts across social media a day just on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And the thing is like if you're not if you're just creating content because of what you think your buyers are wanting, it's not going to work. But what you can do with this processor when we're going to build onto it is take the sales calls, take your coaching calls, take your one-on-one calls with your clients and put it into this feedback processor and not only use it for yourself, but create content around objections and myths and limiting beliefs and these fears and these pain points directly from what people are telling you that they need or what they're facing.
Mhm.
And that's like going to be the next phase of what we're developing here at Scaling Lean is this content engine of like how can you take a sales call and reverse engineer it through the entire you already done the processor, but actually have it just automatically have an agent take this content and create a LinkedIn post or take this content and create a script for your YouTube or whatever platform people are on, right?
Yeah, we've got that at a base level, and we're definitely working to refine that down. But for sure, yeah,
We have a
100%.
workflow, we're getting to an agent level.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, this was an awesome live. I don't really see too many questions. I do see some folks drop some love in the comment box below. So thanks for that. Brian Cato, Arius, appreciate you. We are hosting a little bit of a masterclass next week for what we call the character review, which will help you develop, really get a clear understanding of your micro parables and different things to really help you overcome that in your marketing and create that attractive character that will really turn people into like strangers and like identifying you as the solution, not through a salesy way, right? So there is a special going on until 7 o'clock tonight, MST. So if you want to be a part of that, I'll just drop it below this video. Why not? And you can have a look at that. It'll be next Thursday. And any last words before we end this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that a lot of people that are watching these videos have been following Scaling Lean for a while, and we always talk about ads, we talk about automation, we talk about go high level, we talk about messaging, we talk about all. And really, it was very enlightening yesterday that I had a call with someone who's looking to come to our program. And he said it was like a business in a box. And I really like that analogy of like what Scaling Lean does. Because if you are anywhere from zero to $30,000 months and you're looking to really stabilize at like $20,000 to $30,000 or even scale to 50, 70, $100,000 per month, the system that we developed, the AI sales system, the Scaling Lean method, is really everything you need to drive leads, convert leads once they come into your ecosystem, and sell them on a high ticket call. So that's going to be a one-to-one call where once they come into your ecosystem. Whoops. So that's really what we do. Our whole mission here at Scaling Lean is lean teams, lean systems, high profit margins, high efficiency. And we've built the system over the last 3.5, 4 years and fine-tuned it. So now we could just plug it into your business. There's obviously going to be a little bit of there's going to be a call with either me or JP. We're going to go through your entire messaging. So we'll make sure that everything is dialed in. We'll make sure that your copy is congruent from first touch point from ad or social media straight through your sales call. We'll help you develop your sales script, and we'll even help you with the sales call evaluation that we're talking about now. That's the power of Scaling Lean, is one simple system to get you to predictable leads, predictable income, predictable revenue, predictable appointments every single month. And of course, now with this system that we have in place, predictable closing. So if that's something that you're interested in, you really want to take your service businesses, whichever coaching, consulting, home services, whatever it is, you want to come to us, we can help you plug and play our system and we'll help you even scale.
Absolutely. And there are two quick questions here from Jane Evans. So she's asking if there's a way to link Fathom AI to AI for analysis. And yes, there certainly are. That's more of a custom build where you can connect Fathom, your Reader.ai Fireflies into Make, and then ultimately it looks at the prompt automatically and then does spit out a analysis on the other end. We're currently just using it as a manual process because it really doesn't take very long at all. It's like literally just copy the transcript and put it in. But if that's something that you were interested in, we could certainly support with that growth. And that's ultimately what's going to lead into that's what's leading into the development of our AI agents and stuff like that, right? Because they're going to be connected firsthand to everything we're doing and helping them evolve. And as far as you were mentioning the deal ending tonight, that's just for the masterclass, Jane. We were speaking more directly about our one-to-one consulting. So that's just ongoing whenever you'd like to join. But if you do want to get like into the Scaling Link community tonight, we just have a special offer, which is 50% off for the month. I can send that over for you, or again, I'll drop the link for that below this video. So yeah, that's two separate things we're talking about.
Yeah, so I saw another question just pop in. I mean, use the recording link for analysis versus loading the transcript. I tried that before. It doesn't work. You have to grab the transcript because if you just grab the link, it's going to go through the summary, it's going to go through the questions, it's going to go through the feedback, etc. It's best off just taking the entire transcript.
Yeah, and
Right?
it's literally the same thing. You just hit copy. Here, let me pull it up. Like it's like copy transcripts, it copies it instead of you copying the link and then you just paste it into the thing and then it just downloads it all. Like it's not, it's literally doing the same thing ultimately.
Yeah.
Just you're copying a different link.
Yeah, I think it's one extra click to get from overall summary to transcript.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we will be live next week at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We're just going to be giving away all of our processes. If you guys are looking to come and work with Scaling Lean, or even if it's not something that's for you right now, but you're interested in like what our offer is, what the price point is, I highly suggest you schedule a call. We're actually doing a nice special this month across all of our products and services, where basically everything is 50% off. That's going to be calls with Jonathan and myself. It's going to be our course that we have out. It's going to be all of our prompting, and it's also going to be our community. So if you're interested in any of those little offerings, 50% off, and we'll see you next week. I'm trying to find the link. It's in one of these. 1, 2. There we go. And live event.